Indeed, I'm sure you'll remember the horror and outrage at the incident in Krugersdorp when 8 young women were repeatedly gang raped. The huge reaction of the police. After that, they went to go and dismantle the settlements run by illegal miners, zamas there. You remember all of the court appearances of the men who were accused and charged with the crime. Today, the National Prosecuting Authority announced that charges against all of the 14 people charged with the gang rapes have been dropped. In other words, as I understand it, no one is facing formal charges for those rapes. Ian Allis is a criminal law expert, a lawyer. He joins us now. Ian, good afternoon to you. When someone is arrested for a crime like this and then the charges are dropped, what must have happened? This must be about a lack of evidence.
Good evening, Stephen. Good evening to the viewers. What this is, and I was reading, and obviously from my own background in a situation like this means that the DNA, and simply put, just like you'd see in the movies, the DNA that was collected at the crime scene and the DNA that was taken from the suspects when they were taken into custody and fingerprinted and formally charged did not actually match. So from that perspective, there was no evidence to continue charging them with the crime of which they were charged on regards to the gang rapes and the assault, and the sexual assaults that took place on the night in question.
In a way, I mean, I presume it's either DNA or the ID parade. The ID parade, maybe you could argue, is subjective. But I suppose you either have a DNA match or you don't. It's an open and shut one way or another.
It is. At the end of the day, the identity parade, that's why I haven't really bothered too much to discuss the identity parade. I recall actually dealing with this a few weeks ago when it first hit the news and I discussed it. The identity parade is always something that's a bit sketchy. Eyewitness testimony, darkness, every type of thing from that perspective. But the main thing is the DNA. It's either yes or no. It's not somewhere in between. It's the closest one could say it's you cannot be half pregnant. And it's the same thing that applies with DNA. There's no partial DNA, subjective DNA. It's either matches or it doesn't match, and that's the end of the case.
As I understand it, some of these people are still being held on immigration offences. But I imagine the penalty for that is not very much. The most likely outcome is that they'll be deported.
Correct. The problem is one needs to go ahead and just also be circumspect of what were they originally caught for, and is this not basically almost like a consolation prize by the police saying, see, look at our crackdown on crime. We might not have gotten the rapists, but we got some illegal immigrants. So at least we've done our job and something has in actual fact panned out. So it hasn't been a complete waste of resources. That's the only thing. And I hope that isn't what's going to be the case. And it wasn't one is piggybacking off the other so that everybody can sit and avoid egg on their faces on this one.
Ian, I hate to say it, but quite a lot of time, 3 months has passed since this crime. It seems to me unlikely that we'll get new arrests now.
The thing is, and that is that they've now got the DNA from the crime scene itself. I don't know what further investigations are ongoing on this. Unfortunately, it is the SAPS, and at this present moment, what other resources have been deployed. Obviously, within the legal industry, there are other suspicions that have been bandied around, but so far nothing concrete has come up. And obviously, if you read the social media, every man and their dog can suddenly be a suspect in the crime. So there's a lot of speculation going on, but so far nothing concrete. And in matters like this, unless it's repeat offenders who've already been caught at a previous juncture, I'm highly, highly doubtful that they're going to be able to make any arrests any time soon, unless by some sheer fluke, if one could actually put it that way, and that there's another incident where people who are caught, their DNA matches up with this, because all the DNA from the crime scene is gone.
Ian Allis, thank you very much indeed, criminal law expert on The Pulse.